having a good weekend so far. Hopefully some of you have had time to watch The Last Jedi already. I actually watched it last night, so Friday night, and I want to do a review of the movie. Instead of doing one video for non-spoiler review and then a separate video for a spoiler review, for this movie I'm just gonna do like a half and half in one video. So I'll start off with non-spoiler comments, and then I'll give a warning before I'm about to start talking about spoiler things, and then if you want to turn off the video at that time so you don't get anything spoiled, you can turn it off and not, that way you don't know what's going to happen or anything, that way you don't know spoiler plot points and stuff like that in the movie if you haven't seen it yet. So don't worry, before I start talking about spoilers, I will give a warning. That way you will know when to stop watching if you haven't seen the movie yet. So I have mentioned a few times in my videos, and if you follow me on Twitter, you probably have seen me tweet about it also, but growing up I wasn't a big Star Wars person. My little girl. I wasn't a big Star Wars person, and so I've never been there's a huge fan base for Star Wars, and I can't say that I'm one of those huge diehard Star Wars fans. However, over the past couple years, I have seen the more recent ones, a few of them, and so I really liked The Force Awakens. Rogue One did not like at all, and then now we have The Last Jedi, and I can't say I really liked The Last Jedi. Man, yeah, it was okay. This is not the spoiler part, so I can't say certain things I'm thinking about, but I will give general comments, I guess, so I don't give anything away. Star Wars movies, I guess, even though I wasn't a huge fan of them, they do always have
good action, of course. They always have good action. Yeah, this movie definitely has good action sequences. A lot of people have been commenting on the cinematography, which, yes, totally, absolutely agree. Cinematography is great in this movie. There are some really beautiful shots, beautiful scenes. So I really liked the visual aesthetics of this movie, definitely. It's just, there's so many unique, creative elements in this movie, which I guess all Star Wars movies, like I said, but that was a positive thing for me, just in terms of this movie specifically. And so I liked that, of course, and it was just really cool to see Luke Skywalker have a good role, a big role in this movie, which obviously he's Luke Skywalker, I know, but just comparing to The Force Awakens, of course, spoiler alert, we only saw him at the very end of the movie, and it was setting up for this movie, of course, so it was cool to finally see his role in this new phase of these movies. So yeah, I liked that. But if you guys had seen some of the comments Mark Hamill had made before the movie came out, can also see why he wasn't why he wasn't always on the same page with the directors and the people making the movie, and as far as how they were interpreting Luke. But it was cool to see him have a big role in this movie, since it's The Last Jedi and he is the Jedi Master. So of course it's always cool to see those classic characters, Princess Leia, Chewbacca, it's always cool to see those classic characters in these movies that have been going on for decades and years. It's cool to see the people that they started out with. And then, of course, the characters from The Force Awakens that we got introduced to, Finn and Poe, and I really like the story of this movie and I don't know how, sometimes it's hard to say stuff without mentioning specific things that could be spoiler material. There are surprising elements in this movie that you don't really expect, and I liked that about it, which I expected to have. I expected to see those kinds of things in this movie, so I was pleasantly surprised with the unexpected things that they had in this movie, that they include to kind of give us certain hints as to what we may find out in future movies. I'm going to say that without trying to spoil things. And if you have seen the movie, then you probably know what I'm talking about, and a little bit maybe. When I get into the spoiler stuff later on, then I'll go into more detail about it. But there are definitely some surprising elements in this movie. Oh no, you spilled it. That I was happy with. And some things that kind of leave you speculating on what certain things might mean and what it means for future movies and for certain characters. So that's what I liked about this movie. And another thing I like is in these like franchise type of movies, I like when characters have a good story arc, a good like evolution, and when you can really see them evolving as a character, and not just for the protagonist or the good guys in the movie, but also for the antagonists, the villains in the movie. I like seeing that, and I think that's another cool thing to see in this movie taking place is the evolution of Rey's character, and especially Kylo Ren's character. We learn more about him. I won't go into spoiler territory right now, but I liked that about this movie also, and I like him as a villain, the actor. I think he does a good job of portraying like a Vader type of character in the Star Wars universe. So overall, good movie, very good movie. The last video I had made I was talking about people's reactions, like critical reactions to the movie, and a lot of them had mentioned that it was like super funny, the funniest Star Wars movie ever. I didn't really get that, not in a bad way. I mean, that was a good thing, because I didn't want it to be just, completely overloaded with humor that was going to take away from the drama of the movie. And so I'm glad that, well, The Force Awakens had a good deal of humor, but it was appropriate. I liked it. It didn't bother me at all. It fit very well. It was well placed and everything. It wasn't inappropriate or annoying or anything. And I felt the same way about this movie. I felt like it was appropriate. It was well placed. It was fine. It did not take away from the drama or the stakes or anything. So humor was good for me. Yes. So overall, really liked the movie. Really enjoyed it. Great movie. Yeah. So now I am going to get into spoilers. So here's a warning: if you have not seen Star Wars The Last Jedi, from here on out I'm going to be discussing spoilers, things that will spoil the movie for you. So if you have not seen it, I suggest you stop watching this video right now. Unless you don't mind spoilers, then go ahead and keep watching. But if you don't want spoilers, turn it off now. Thanks for watching the beginning. Okay. Okay. So, definitely favorite parts of this movie, the interactions between Kylo Ren and Rey. Was not expecting that at all. For those of you who have seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. The Force keeps connecting them, drawing them to each other, in their mind. And then, of course, it gets stronger. They can see each other. They can feel each other, like when they touch hands. I mean, that was just so interesting to me. And then when they're jumping back and showing the same thing happening between Luke and Leia, who, of course, are brother and sister, it gets you wondering, like, what are they trying to hint at or foreshadow for Kylo and Rey? Kylo Ren and for Rey. Like, I think those moments were so cool. They're very interesting. yeah, that was awesome. It was also interesting to see Rey kind of her she was conflicted when she was, you know, when she was trying to train with Luke, and he was trying to help her, you know, control the Force, and, you know, when they were doing that whole little training sequence. And then after that, it kind of keeps going back to the fact that she's conflicted between the light and the dark. And I like that because it kind of, you know, it intrigues you for the rest of the movie. Like, oh my God, is she really going to go to the dark side? Like, this is crazy. So I liked that also. And they kind of teased us. They made us think that we might find out who her parents are, but we didn't. And she didn't either. And, you know, I just think that there's a reason why they have been keeping her parents a secret, who her parents are, a secret. You know, we didn't know in the first movie. We don't know now. Hopefully the next movie we'll find out. It has to be a big reveal. Otherwise, there'd be no reason to keep it a secret and keep people guessing as to who her parents are. So, I don't know. Of course, we found out in The Force Awakens that Kylo Ren is Han Solo and Princess Leia's son. So, I don't know. I was kind of, you know, it makes you wonder, like, are they siblings? But then that would mean that it would be Princess Leia's daughter also, and Han Solo. So, I don't know. Just, it was super interesting, though. And then, of course, you know, seeing the part when Kylo Ren ended up killing Snoke. Wow. That was crazy. I wasn't expecting that either. And then it was also interesting to see his confliction. That he still has tendencies, like he still has a part of him that wants to go to the light, but then the darkness in him keeps taking over. And I mean, the part when he was asking Rey to join him, I mean, that whole sequence was crazy. Like when they're fighting Snoke's guards and all of that was awesome. Like that was probably like, yeah, definitely probably one of my definitely favorite parts of the movie, for sure. And I almost thought Rey was gonna go with him. Like a part of me was like, because I mean, it took her, I mean, in times in the movie's sense of time, they kept, you know, going back and forth to the other parts of the movie. She didn't reject him right away, you know, because they started having this connection. And, you know, when she was out with Luke and they were having the Force, those telepathic connections through the Force, they were developing this connection, this relationship. And so she hesitated to reject him. And I thought that was, earlier when I was talking about non-spoiler things, those unexpected parts of the movie, that was definitely an unexpected thing. And I was like, wow, she's really going to join him. But of course, you know, she didn't. So, yeah. I mean, when I left the theater, that's what I was wondering about the most, is Rey and Kylo Ren's relationship. And, you know, why are they having such a strong connection? They're like, you know, obviously the light and the dark, that balance. But I just wonder more. I wonder if there's more to their relationship than that. Like, if they're related in some way. He said that he saw her parents, but I guess we'll find out if that's true or not, or if he was just trying to get her to join him, or what. But, you know, it was interesting to see that when he told her, you know, you're nothing, you come from nothing, no one cares about you, but, you know, I do. You know, that was really shocking. It was really surprising. Like, it actually felt like he was disappointed that she didn't join him. Like, he really cared about her. He had a connection to her. And of course, then after that, he kind of just went completely dark. And that's that evolution I was talking about earlier. I'm really anxious to see him continue evolving into like the next Darth Vader type of character. which is what I expect to see him as. And, of course, expect to see Rey become a full-blown Jedi. And, yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to for the next movie. And interested to learn more about Rey and where, you know, where she, like, what is going on with her parents. It has to be a big reveal. It has to be. Like I said, otherwise there's no reason to not, to tease people with it and to make it seem like it's a mystery, you know. But those are my favorite parts of the movie. Of course, the way Luke Skywalker exited, I guess you could say, was like epic and amazing, and I was just like blown away by that. I definitely, that was another one of those big surprise elements for me. And so those were my favorite things about the movie. I can't say I had any like big negatives. It was cool to see Yoda, an old little ghost Yoda. More of those classic characters coming back. Of course, you know, we won't see Princess Leia again. Well, I don't know if they're gonna like CG her in future movies, but you know, rest in peace to Carrie Fisher. She is no longer with us, so you know, it was cool that they gave her like her little moment in the movie to focus on her and everything. So that was nice. And yeah, we shall see what the future holds for this new phase of Star Wars. And it was cool at the end, that little boy, they gave us like a little hint that he's a Jedi, so that was cool also. I really like that. It's kind of like starting the universe all over again. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think if you saw the movie. Did you like it, not like it? Leave your comments below. Check out the links in the description. I am also, I had just started writing on a website called vocal.media, and my first story is up about Wonder Woman, and so you can check out that one. I'm working on my next one, and I do have the link now for the next episode of Sloppy Spoilers, the podcast that I'm on, so you can check that out in the description as well. And as always, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.